Alright, tonight I am scrapping this. This is a computer power supply. This one's made by Dell. Dell likes using a lot of zip ties, I noticed, over the years. This one is only a 250 max output. And what you can do with computer power supplies is you can make your own 12 volt power supply for like in the garage. It is always the green wire. It's the fourth one over on the top. It's always this green one. And all you gotta do is ground it out to one of these black ones. And it'll turn this power supply on. And you can use it as a 12 volt power supply. It's actually more like 11 volts, like 11.3 or something like that. But you can use the yellow wires as your 12 volt lead. And your black wire is your ground. Or your negative. And quite easy. I'm gonna make sure I got gloves on for this because there's tons of sharp edges in these things. Grab these gloves. Make sure you protect your hands, protect your eyes. Can't stress that enough. I'm gonna start cutting some of these New Sense zip ties. And just get all the screws out. That looks like a transformer in there. That's what that is. These screws are going to hold the cover on. I just like to get all the screws out. This one might be staying in. This plug. Yeah, and that little switch is going to stay in. Because there's a little nut on the back of that screw, and it's just spinning, I bet. See, I like to wait to cut the wires. We got more screws or something. There we go. We got some tin. Turn the scale on. We got some tin. Ooh, transformer. Another zip tie. I like to wait to cut the wires because then you can cut closer. That's less work. Why cut them in the beginning and then cut them afterwards too? It's twice the work. Screws out of the board. We'll free it from its metal shell. I think I'm going to leave this plug right on there, unless I can hold the screw with my finger. No, that's just going to take too long. It's time consuming. It can stay on there. Let's see if I can grab one of these though. These are brass. Not so easy. So they can stay in there. We got more tin. Nice aluminum heat sinks. Now, cooling fan. I always like to cut. The wire's worth more than the copper bearing is. So, and scrapyard doesn't really want it like this. There's too much plastic to make this copper bearing. So you can usually separate the fan from the shroud easily. Just clean some of the blades out. We got copper bearing. And there is quite a bit of copper in here. But as you can see, it's going to be wrapped around. We're going to call this copper bearing. Or maybe I can get the copper out of it. Maybe this one fan's different. We'll call that copper bearing. Plastic. A nice looking transformer here. It's got some weight to it. We'll be cutting the copper out of that. Cut the wire as close to the circuit board as you can, within reason. Because this circuit board is copper bearing. That's what it's going to be worth. It's brown on one side, green on the other. It's a low grade circuit board. They're only going to give you copper bearing price for it. We got some number 2 insulated. And now, watch this. They're gonna throw this board in the copper bearing pile. So breaking it doesn't depreciate its value. This is still copper bearing. So I'm gonna get this little donut off. Scrap that afterwards. This little donut as well. And there's a couple more. Little bits of copper here. See that little guy? It'll let me get it. There you go. And you see this guy right here? That's the transistor. That back plate is copper. That can go in your number 2 copper bucket. That's about it for this little piece of board. And we want to clean this piece of extruded aluminum off. I'm going to see if I can hold the nuts, or hold the little nuts and spin the screw. That one came off. So I was holding it with my finger. Got that one out. That one's not going to work. I got that one out. I was pushing on the back with my finger, applying pressure to it to help keep it from spinning. We'll get this last screw out. Now we got good, clean extruded aluminum. It's worth more if you clean it up. Because that is steel. That is steel. And all of these transistors can go in your number 2 copper bucket. Here's some nice clean extruded aluminum. See if we can get this other one out. That's going to stay as copper bearing. There's layers of tape wrapped with bands of copper, and it's actually difficult to get that out. It's not really worth your time. We'll get this little piece of copper out though. And this guy, depopulating the board. That's an easy way to get it. Love my copper. I wonder if these are relays. I wonder if there's any brass or any copper in these. Nope. Sometimes, nope, doesn't weigh nothing. Now for this last aluminum heatsink. Oh yeah, that's copper. Just about finished now. These little guys here, you can break the ferrite out of the center of them. Let's get all of our copper in a pile. Look at that. Big one. This is the nice one. Now this little cement looking stuff here, this is ferrite, and it sticks to a magnet. You can throw it right in with your tin bucket or your steel bucket, all your screws and such. You don't got to go overboard, but you do got to try to clean it up the best you can. Now let's see if it's worth taking that little transistor, that little transformer apart. It's looking like this will peel off. You see how it's kind of folded around it? Should peel off this way. Get these little tabs, these little ears up. See that? And it peels open. More 10. Oh, this is easy. This is just going to push out now. And a nice little hunk of steel plates here. Maybe I should have just kept hammering. I wanted to go on the floor and make a mess. Alright, so it looks like I'm gonna have to build something here so I don't keep losing some metal down there. This is just a big old hunk of copper. Gotta clean it up a little bit though. A good way to do that is to break it. can see it. You see the copper. I'm about ready just to throw it in the bucket just like this. Right in the number 2 copper bucket. That's what I'm doing. So there we have it. Little bits of screws and stuff here I'll throw in my bucket afterwards. Let's see what we got. So we got total scrap weight of 3.36 pounds. The copper bearing. Dropping it all over the place. Copper bearing weighed a little over half a pound. Number 2 insulated, a little over half a pound. The aluminum, a little over 1/4 of a pound. For the tin, a little over 1.25 pounds. It adds up. And now for the copper. A little over half a pound of copper here. Not too bad. A few minutes worth of work, make a few bucks. Like, scrapping prices are always going up and down too, so you can hold on to it and wait for it to go up. Just money in the bank. So just remember guys, scrap is everywhere. All you gotta do is find it, sort it, and hoard it. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.